Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, also known as the Nazi Party, ruled Germany as a dictator from 1933 to 1945. He instigated World War II by invading Poland in 1939 and sought to establish a totalitarian regime based on racial purity. Hitler orchestrated the Holocaust, leading to the genocide of 6 million Jews and millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and political dissidents. His aggressive expansionism and militarism caused widespread devastation and loss of life across Europe. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union from the mid-1920s until his death in 1953, was infamous for his brutal regime. He created a totalitarian regime marked by extensive purges, forced farming collectives, and harsh repression. Millions suffered executions, imprisonment, or starvation due to his policies, notably during the Great Purge and the Holodomor famine in Ukraine. His actions caused the deaths of an estimated 20 million people. Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong, the founding father of the People's Republic of China, led the country from 1949 until his death in 1976. His ambitious policies, such as the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, aimed to quickly reshape China into a socialist society, but instead caused extensive harm. The Great Leap Forward triggered a severe famine that led to the deaths of an estimated 15 to 45 million people. Pol Pot. Pol Pot, leader of the Khmer Rouge, governed Cambodia from 1975 to 1979 with a ruthless regime known for its brutality. His radical communist vision led to forced city evacuations, mass killings, and harsh labor camps. Between 1.7 to 2 million Cambodians, nearly a quarter of the population, died from starvation, forced work, and executions under his rule. Idi Amin. Idi Amin, the military dictator of Uganda from 1971 to 1979, is infamous for his brutal and tyrannical leadership. He seized power in a coup and established a regime characterized by extreme violence, human rights abuses, and economic mismanagement. Amin's rule led to the deaths of an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 Ugandans through mass executions, ethnic persecution, and torture. He was also known as the Butcher of Uganda. Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden, the founder of the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda, is notorious for masterminding the September 11, 2001 attacks on the United States, which resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths and marked a significant rise in global terrorism. Bin Laden's extremist ideology advocated violent jihad against Western nations and secular Muslim governments. He led Al-Qaeda in orchestrating numerous deadly attacks worldwide. His ability to inspire and coordinate terrorism led to an extensive international manhunt, culminating in his death in 2011 during a U.S. Navy SEAL operation in Pakistan. Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, Iraq's president from 1979 to 2003, was known for his brutal dictatorship and aggressive foreign policies. Hussein's invasions of Iran in 1980 and Kuwait in 1990 led to prolonged wars and global condemnation. His regime caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Iraqis through purges and ethnic cleansing. The use of chemical weapons against Kurdish civilians in Halabja in 1988 remains one of his regime's worst atrocities. He was captured by U.S. forces in 2003 and executed in 2006. Benito Mussolini. Benito Mussolini, Italy's fascist dictator from 1922 to 1943, enforced a totalitarian regime characterized by authoritarian rule and militaristic ambitions. Mussolini aimed to restore Italy's imperial grandeur through aggressive expansionism, including military actions in Ethiopia and support for Franco in the Spanish Civil War. His alliance with Nazi Germany during World War II led to Italy's defeat and his downfall. Heinrich Himmler. Heinrich Himmler was the architect of the Nazi regime's SS organization and one of the key figures responsible for the Holocaust. As Reichsführer SS, he implemented Hitler's genocidal policies, overseeing the systematic murder of 6 million Jews and millions of others considered undesirable by the Nazis. Himmler set up concentration camps where inmates endured appalling conditions and were systematically exterminated. His fanatical adherence to Nazi ideology and efficient administrative methods enabled the SS to carry out Hitler's vision of racial purity through systematic genocide. Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels was the Minister of Propaganda in Nazi Germany, instrumental in disseminating Hitler's ideology and inciting hatred against Jews and other perceived enemies of the state. His propaganda machinery controlled media, censored information, and propagated relentless anti-Semitic messages, contributing significantly to the radicalization of German society. Goebbels orchestrated the Kristallnacht pogroms and was instrumental in executing the final solution, which led to the systematic extermination of millions in concentration camps. Augusto Pinochet ruled Chile from 1973 to 1990 after seizing power in a military coup against President Salvador Allende. His regime was notorious for extensive human rights violations, including torture, forced disappearances, and executions of political adversaries. Pinochet implemented economic neoliberal policies while suppressing leftist movements, resulting in the brutal detention of thousands in notorious centers such as Villa Grimaldi. Pablo Escobar was a notorious Colombian drug lord and founder of the Medellin cartel, which dominated the global cocaine trade in the 1980s. Known for his extreme violence and ruthlessness, Escobar orchestrated bombings, assassinations, and kidnappings to maintain control and eliminate rivals and government officials. His reign included the murder of thousands, including judges, journalists, and police officers who opposed him.